co-chairman of the Presbyterian Health Foundation Board of Trustees and doing a phenomenal job there. This is the first time we've had a comprehensive report. It's the hardcover report in front of you, 120 pages, 30,000 words with amazing graphics by Matt Goad. And we've never had a comprehensive report of the 62 tenants who are resident here at PHF Research Park, 36 biotech and science-based companies here in the Research Park. An amazing thing happened, the whole world, all of you, and we welcome you from the Creativity World Forum, and you're here now, 6 countries represented here in the room, and that's not counting the country of Edmond, just north of Oklahoma. And we welcome you here, and we know each of you in your own home countries have science-based technology companies that are just taking off in new directions, driven by creativity. And that is happening right here. And it's a stunning thing to watch as these companies are coming together and collaborating with each other for new energies, new ideas, new products that are literally out there to help save life and enhance human life and all of life on this planet of ours. So we welcome you here. As well as the opportunity to show you just briefly some of the things that are going on here. We're not going to tell you about 26 or 36 or 46 different companies and agencies, but only about 3. And these companies represent in this research park of 1,500 people a wonderful payroll for the city of Oklahoma City and the state of Oklahoma. The payroll here averages $85,000. The executive salaries in our companies run from $110,000 to $365,000 per year. The annual payroll here in just this 25-acre research park is over $136 million a year. I mention that because we have the state government represented here, and these people pay taxes. And that helps us all. And the companies pay taxes. So there is a revenue being generated here of over $2 billion a year when you look at the products that go out of this research park and the grants and the general revenues of the combined budget spreadsheets of all these companies. But the more important thing is what happens in therapeutics, diagnostics, and medical devices. Those are the 3 broad areas of science-based companies. And so today we're going to have a story from one of those. We could put it in the category of medical device, a life-saving device. And I'm very pleased to introduce the inventor and the founder and the driving force, Dr. David Albert of Lifetone. Dr. Albert.
Thank you. Dr. Anderson, thank you very much, and it's an honor to be here with this esteemed group of people. And I wanted to, Mr. Edwards and I were commiserating about a trip we took for the Chamber of Commerce back in the 1980s when Oklahoma City was just recovering from the oil bust of the early 1980s. And we went to Indianapolis to see what they had done to transform their city. Very proud to say that we have since then transformed Oklahoma City, leading up to hosting a conference like the World Creativity Forum, the whole creativity movement, and that this park did not exist then. So many things have happened, but I will tell you that at the time we also commiserated that we were worried here about what was being done in Denver, what was being done in Indianapolis. And today, I worry about what's being done in Shanghai, what's being done in Hong Kong. And so the world has changed. We continue to up our game, and we at Lifetone have brought new technologies. We now have 18 issued U.S. patents, and will this year be introducing a number of new products after this year having had a very successful introduction for our Lifetone HL, which is a life-saving device. I can tell you we've documented 3 lives saved in the last year and have shipped product out. And what this is a device that looks like an alarm clock. And I have to tell you, I have an investor in town who's very well known, who told me about 5 years ago, so I'm investing in an alarm clock? And I said, yes. Well, 12 patents later, we have a device that, quite frankly, is a life-saving alarm clock. And I'm going to be a little bit obnoxious now in that I'm going to show you. This is the sound of a smoke alarm in anybody's house. So if you went to Home Depot, Lowe's, you bought a smoke alarm, it would sound much like that, much louder than that. Unfortunately, for about 40 million people in the United States, that's absolutely worthless because they can't hear that. They've lost either all their hearing. What they can hear is the sound that that produces. And by the way, I was going to speak Spanish to you. And that's a low frequency smoke alarm. And as I said, in the last year we've sold over 10,000 units. And yesterday, I'm glad to say, we rented more space in the Presbyterian Health Foundation as we expand. This product has been shipped all over. We just shipped 300 to the New York City Fire Department for placement in homes of seniors who have lost their hearing or lost most of their hearing. And so I can tell you we have a number of other products aimed at helping those people who are most at risk improve their safety. The country of Canada, it is a country, right? It's not a state. We will be introducing our product in Canada, in Australia, and throughout the rest of the world in 2011. And we appreciate all the support and appreciate the notion that creativity is the advantage that we Americans have, and we better sure take advantage of it. The rest of the world is going to school on us. So thank you.
Thank you very much. In the area of therapeutics, there are many wonderful new things happening, and around the world we're moving into biotherapeutics, living cells, and to see how recombinant DNA, molecular biology, and all this builds for an idea that can save life. Now, I want to introduce to you Dr. Scott Rollins, who has been a very successful leader of a very major company, and after it went through its great success and its exit, it allowed us to have a return to home CEO, who is also a great scientist himself, come back here to start a new company here. And I want Dr. Scott Rollins to tell us about what's new and going on in Celexus. Thank you very much, Scott, for being here.
Mike. As Mike said, Celexus is a therapeutics company. We are a biopharmaceutical company. We're developing 2 drugs currently. We have a drug in development for sickle cell disease, and we have a drug in development for Crohn's disease. Both of these drugs are entirely homegrown. All of the science that sits behind these 2 drugs came out of the University of Oklahoma. We licensed all of that technology into Celexus. As Mike said, I spent 17 years on the East Coast building another company called Alexion Pharmaceuticals with Oklahoma technology. So we took patents from the OMRF back in 1992, licensed them through a consortium that involved Yale University, and we started Alexion. That company now is a $6.5 billion company with about $600 million in revenue that should have been built here. And the time just was not right back in 1990. The capital wasn't here. Well, we believe that it is here today and that we can do this here today. So what have we done to try to move this technology forward? The financing times are tough. The economy's been rough the last couple of years in terms of going out and raising large amounts of venture capital. So we've turned to some large grant sources. So in 2009, we were awarded a $3.2 million grant from the National Institutes of Health through the SBIR program for the sickle cell disease program. That was the largest grant ever awarded to an Oklahoma company at the time. We backed that up again in 2009 with a $1.8 million grant from the Edge Foundation. You're going to know more about the Edge Foundation and the Edge Fund and the recipients for this year. And that money supported the Crohn's disease program. And so we're announcing today that we have backed that up again with a second very large SBIR grant, another $3.2 million grant for the Crohn's disease program. So in the past 2 years, we've raised a little over $12 million in venture capital money and grant grant money to support these programs. And that puts us in an excellent position to move these drugs forward here in Oklahoma and to watch this company grow right here in this park. That I'll conclude. Thanks.
Thank you very much. A third area of company activity, science-based company activity in this research park is in the area of diagnostics. And when you get a novel diagnostic that is a gold standard in its field, it has universal use. And we're going to have Mr. Carl Gibson, who is the CEO of Innovion, tell you about the opportunities that now exist here and a new announcement that is being made about Innovion Day. Thank you.
Thank you, Dr. Anderson. Appreciate it. We had, again, Innovion is one of the earliest companies in the biotech park. We started in 1999, came out of technology from OU Health Science Center, Dean McGee Eye Institute. We had support from PHF Research Center, or PHF Foundation, very early on. Again, the Class A lab space, support on the capital raising, went through of course, the ebbs, fits and starts of the capital markets. And now 10 years later, we're being acquired by a company called EFA Systems. Of course, we heard from Dr. Albert when he heard we were being acquired by a German company. He said, well, how's, of course, Dr. Albert formerly from General Electric, an international company. He said, how's your naked conference calls going? Naked conference, well, of course, the conference calls start at 3 a.m. in the morning for me when we're talking to clients. So, yes, that happens. So, I guess the real benefit of this is, you know, we went the gestation period, the 10-year gestation period. We came out with a FDA-cleared product, been in use for over 10 years, a customer base with all the major components of the U.S. healthcare system. One of the valuable assets they identified was our employee base. You know, we have 6 employees that have an excess of 10 years experience in the ophthalmology area. And EFA Systems is very specialized ophthalmology, electronic medical records, clinical trials, and customized medicine in Germany and obviously in the EU. Another announcement that we have would be in the range of clinical trials. Our chairman, Lloyd Hildebrand, is the PI for a multi-center NIH clinical trial. It has to do with retinopathy of prematurity. It's a 10 multi-center, 10-site, 2,500 pediatric, actually, premature baby study that Innovion is heading up as far as the workflow and image processing. So happy to be here. Thanks for the long-term help from PHF Research Center and PHF Foundation.
Thank you very much. In all of your countries that you represent and throughout the United States, none of us could do these things in the area of science-based companies without the help of our governments. And the governments help in many different ways, but science is not like a hamburger franchise. You can't just go out and start making money off of an idea overnight. And if you get into trials, phase 1, 2, 3 trials might be 8 years, might be 10 years, it might be $1 billion of investment. You need a lot of help, but the end result is you could have a product that is literally saving hundreds of thousands, maybe ultimately millions of lives, and helping people have a better life. So our governments are very, very important, and we are fortunate here in Oklahoma to have a program called our Economic Development Program, giving us an edge in this development, EDGE Fund, and its director is Dr. Paul Risser of the University of